And today we finish up the series looking at the state of each and every franchise, and we look at the case for the New York Yankees. Let's get into it. What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast, and as I said in the open, we wrap up our series looking at the state of each and every franchise with my very own New York Yankees. Now, there's a lot to dive into with the New York Yankees and a lot of question marks as the season has progressed. So as we look at some of the acquisitions that the Yankees made, such as Josh Donaldson, Ben Rortvedt, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Anthony Rizzo, Marwin Gonzalez, these acquisitions truly helped to change the way that the Yankees were going to approach this 2022 campaign as compared to 2021. Yes, there are going to be questions towards the bottom of this lineup, but if the Yankees can hit the way that they're supposed to, it's easy to believe that the rest of this lineup can carry the weight for some defensive first players at the bottom of the order. Now, as we look at the 2022 X Factor for the New York Yankees, it is that of Gleyber Torres. I think that for the Yankees to be successful, Gleyber has to get back to that 2019 form that we would see him have, as opposed to what he's been the last couple of seasons. This has to be a change in his mentality and philosophy. Hopefully, by going back to second base, we can see a better version of Gleyber than what we've seen in the past couple of seasons. Now, as we break down the state of the pitching staff for the New York Yankees, there's very little question that there's going to be serious concerns about the health of this rotation and the bullpen. But if the Yankees are able to truly be at their best, this is a B-plus pitching staff. I think that there's a lot to like if they can get what they're supposed to get out of guys like Garrett Cole and Aroldis Chapman. The rest of the bullpen and the rotation can truly find its way and make its mark with less pressure. Obviously, right now, going into this part of the season, Garrett Cole hasn't been exactly what you would expect him to be. Aroldis Chapman also hasn't been what you would hope that he would be as a lockdown closer in the ninth inning. But if these two guys can right the ship for this New York Yankees this season, there's very little doubt that these are two of the most impressive arms that could be had at the beginning and end of a pitching staff. Now, as we look at the state of the offense for the New York Yankees, right now it is looking absolutely decrepit. But when you really break down the state of what each and every part of this offense is going to look like and should look like at the end of the year, when the back of the baseball cards are looked at, it is a B overall offense. I think that there's a lot to like about the players that were brought in, and I truly think that it helps to balance out the lineup. Now, yes, at the time of this recording, the Yankees offense has not looked very good. There's been days where they have absolutely dropped the ball in terms of what they should be capable of producing on a nightly basis. They've lost games that they should have easily won to teams that they should have easily defeated. But overall, at the end of the day, I think that when this offense starts to get hot and starts to click the way that it's supposed to, you're going to see a much better product on field for the New York Yankees in 2022 than what we would see in 2020 or 2021. Now, as we look at the state of the franchise for the New York Yankees, I give it a B-plus grading. And the reason that I say that is the Yankees, while being accused of being cheap this offseason, have not necessarily been that. While the money was not necessarily spent the way we would have liked it to, with bringing in certain types of free agents, as well as investing in our own players like Aaron Judge, the Yankees did make several moves this offseason to try to better their team. Now, yes, some may see it as fringe moves, only building around the edges, because the defensive value that has been added to this team may not be seen as the same thing as bringing in a guy like Freddie Freeman or Carlos Correa. But when you look at what this team is overall, they have the ability to go out and spend more if they need to, but they also have the prospect capital, which at the trading deadline is even more valuable than money when it comes to being able to acquire some talented players. I think that there are going to be available players at the deadline that the Yankees will likely add to try and boost themselves into a much better position by the end of the year. There's very little doubt that the Yankees are in the most competitive division, in my opinion, with the Blue Jays, Rays, and Red Sox all being formidable threats, not only for the American League East crown, but for the American League pennant. So when it comes to this franchise, there's absolutely more that has to be done, in my opinion, but they are on the right track. Now, as we get into the bold prediction for the New York Yankees, I think that it's very obvious what I'm going to say. I believe the Yankees will win the World Series. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts on the New York Yankees down in the comment section below. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? Do you agree or disagree with my opinions on this team? Yes, right now, if you're a Yankee fan, you're looking at this team with utter bewilderment and not understanding how they can be showing this bad against teams that they should be defeating handily. But when you look at it from an objective perspective, when you take that one step back to be able to look at a bigger picture, what are your thoughts on this team? Let me know that down in the comment section below, or find me over on Twitter at JLaracuente19, and we can keep the conversation rolling. As always, keep it locked into the entire JLMG family with WeSib, the Granny Geek Show, and of course here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast. For sticking around all the way to the end, head over to our merchandise shop, baseballbanterbroadcast.com. Use the promo code BANTER to save 5% off your order. Keep it locked in here to the Baseball Banter Broadcast all season long as I continue to bring you the latest news, notes, and my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions on the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.